Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. 2 Marines were rescued from the bottom of an inactive gold mine shaft in Twentynine Palms. At around 1 p.m. on Saturday, San Bernardino County Fire received a call regarding a rescue at a mine shaft near Crown Road in Twentynine Palms. Officials with County Fire say that 3 people climbed to the mine at the top of a mountain. 2 males, identified as Marines in their 20s, then rappelled 80 feet down to the bottom of the mine, at which point their ascending device broke. A female in her 20s remained at the top of the mine and called 911. County Fire says that neither of the men were injured, but that they were unable to climb out of the mine without assistance. Owing to the remote location of the rescue, County Fire dispatched a crew from Twentynine Palms who coordinated the response of 3 technical rescue crews from across the county. The Marine Corps logistics teams from the Combat Center also responded. County Fire said that the challenge was getting the technical rescue crews to the mine itself, but that once they arrived, it was an easy rescue, and the 2 men were free of the hole more than 8 hours after the call was made to 911. No injuries were reported. Last night's Twentynine Palms City Council meeting began 30 minutes late as council returned from 3 closed-door sessions focused on the performance evaluation of City Manager Stone James and 2 unspecified legal matters. Reporter Heather Clisby was there.
The Twentynine Palms City Council covered much ground last night, starting with a slew of proclamations. All council members wore black Break the Silence t-shirts in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Following a state mandate, council directed staff to file the Housing Element Annual Progress Report. 989 more residential units must be built by 2029. Proposed amendments to mobile home parks and special occupancy parks development code exposed enough concerns among residents that council took no action and chose to study the matter further. Resident John Talley Jones expressed his concerns to the council about an expansion of campgrounds in residential areas.
This seems like a monumentally terrible idea. Imagine living for the peace and quiet out here and waking up one morning to find that Burning Man has moved in on the parcel next door.
In what felt like a tense tug of war, council revisited the idea of the self-build housing project. With plans to partner with the Coachella Valley Housing Coalition, it would entail the city purchasing 10 lots in one neighborhood and then selling the lots to 10 families who qualify for the construction of new homes. Numerous residents urged the council to move forward on the plan, while City Attorney Patrick Munoz cited several red flags on the project. Councilmember Daniel Mintz also voiced concern that the CVHC had not supplied adequate information to the council. Councilmember Octavia Scott took umbrage with the council's hesitation, expressing frustration that an idea he had personally brought forth was consistently stalled. Ultimately, Mayor Stephen Bilderain focused on an idea from resident and business owner Karen Harper, who suggested an event that draws local prospective homeowners who may qualify for the program. Glenn Harris, co-president of the Joshua Tree No-Kill Animal Shelter, made a plaintive donation request for their upcoming Wolf Walk on May 3rd at Essex Park in Yucca Valley. Council approved the $1,500 donation at the Best in Show level. Council approved sending a letter of opposition against AB 647, a bill which would require cities to allow up to 8 housing units on lots with an existing family home, without any environmental review or public input. In public comments, several residents spoke out against an incident in Lucky Park on April 3rd, where an autistic boy was handcuffed and children as young as 2 were confronted with assault weapons by law enforcement. A call had been placed concerning someone wielding a knife, and residents state that the response was overzealous and dangerous, with no questions asked of the adults present. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
The Twentynine Palms Tourism Business Improvement District, or TBID, Board of Directors meets for their regular monthly meeting tomorrow to consider a number of applications for event funding in the coming months. The TBID offers scholarships of up to $3,000 and grants of up to $20,000 for events and programs within the city of Twentynine Palms with the objective of increasing tourism to the city. The application period ended on April 1st and will provide funding for events and programs beginning in July through the end of the year. TBID Director of Marketing Brienne Duzastre said that the TBID saw a significant increase in applications for this round of funding. 14 event sponsorships will be considered for funding up to $3,000 at the meeting. Of the 18 grant applications, which can qualify for funding up to $20,000, the board has already evaluated and ranked 6 of the applications to move forward for further consideration. This includes a Climbing Royal Rumble proposed by Cliffhanger Guides for December 12th, a Joshua Tree Half Marathon proposed by Vacation Races for November 1st, the 3rd edition of the 29 Palms Book Festival organized by Desert General and proposed for November 7th, Aerial Knots, a live performance event proposed by Sarah Kotzman for August 1st, the 2nd installment of the 29 Queer Film Festival proposed for September 19th, and Climb Smart, a conservation and education event proposed by Friends of Joshua Tree for November 21st. With more events proposed to the TBID than funding will allow, the board was able to be more discerning regarding events than they have been in the past. Comments from board members on rejected projects include scheduling and budget inconsistencies, vague proposals, ADA requirements, and in one case, sexual misconduct allegations against a person involved in the proposal. You can find a full list of applications along with board member comments as part of the agenda for the meeting, available at a link in this story at Z107.7fm.com. The board will consider, review, and possibly fund proposals at tomorrow's public meeting, which is set for 3:30 p.m. at 29 Palms City Hall, located at 6136 Adobe Road in 29 Palms. Miles Takes, an artist visiting from the UK, explores the relationship between art, the night sky, and the desert landscape during his Boxo Project's residency in Joshua Tree. At this weekend's open studio event, the community can experience the cosmos through his newest work. Reporter Hilary Sloan has more.
British artist Miles Takes is known for his vibrant, color-rich paintings, which boldly abstract motion, memory, and nature. His work has been exhibited internationally with solo and group shows in London and Brighton. Now in residence at Boxo Projects, Takes is exploring the beauty of the desert night sky and expanding his practice through sculpture.
One thing that I've always been inspired by is the night sky and how captivating that is, but also how there's such a scientific approach to kind of observing the night sky. Main goal for me for the residency is to create a series of artistic instruments that encourage people to look at the night sky in sort of different ways.
Drawing inspiration from astronomical tools, Takes is building a sculptural installation that frames the desert landscape by day and reflects the brilliance of the stars by night. He's also creating abstract wall and ground-mounted pieces that interpret the sky and terrain through fractal and geometric forms crafted from metal and other materials. The public is invited to an open studio on Saturday, April 26, from 2 to 5 p.m. at Boxo Projects, 62732 Sullivan Road in Joshua Tree. Experience a chance to meet the artist, view his work in progress, and experience art shaped by the desert sky. For details and direction, go to boxoprojects.com. For Z107.7, this is reporter Hilary Sloan.
The combined Rotary Clubs of the Morongo Basin are holding their 13th annual food drive this Friday to benefit neighbors in need. Many of our area's Rotary Clubs, including the Rotary Club of Joshua Tree, the Rotary Club of 29 Palms, and the Yucca Valley Sunset Rotary Club, will be conducting the food drive. Rotarians and friends will be at the Stater Brothers Yucca Valley East store and the Stater Brothers 29 Palms store from noon to 6 p.m. on Friday to take your donations. They're asking for canned tuna or chicken, boxed oatmeal, peanut butter, spaghetti sauce, spaghetti noodles, canned beans, canned fruit and vegetables, and granola bars, although any items are welcome. All food and cash donations will go directly to 8 food pantries in the Morongo Basin for distribution to hungry families. And finally, the 29 Palms High School boys varsity tennis team hosted the Trojans of Yucca Valley High School on Tuesday. The Wildcats won 14-4. The The Wildcats travel to Yucca Valley tomorrow. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmetz.